What is up, all my beautiful legends? I hope you guys are having a great week and happy Wednesday. Today is another little quick introduction to my next segment of Storytime with Derrz. I am going to be going over Geiger. Now this is a great book from a company you would say I'm familiar with, and that is Ghost Machine. And if you don't know, I do have the Ghost Machine issue number 1, courtesy of Brian LCS from MegaCon, signed by all 11 creators from the team. So this is a new company. If you haven't heard, you definitely need to jump on the bandwagon now and start looking these guys up and pulling their books. I'm sure you can still find Ghost Machine, you can find Geiger, Junkyard Joe. Find those trades, read them up if you're interested. If not, I got you covered in this series. But this is a new company, you know, kind of startup like the Image Comics did in the early 90s, where there's a bunch of creators coming together to do their own thing and create their own company. But like I said, Geiger was one of the first things I read. I missed out on it when it first dropped, and then when I read the trade, I was absolutely hooked. So I know Junkyard Joe and the 80-page giant came out before Geiger, but for me personally, reading Geiger and then going back and reading Junkyard Joe and then the 80-page giant, it felt different. It felt better. It gave me more connectivity. Like I said, you'll see in this first little segment where it talks about Junkyard Joe and things with the Unknown War, and it just kind of connected better. So I do recommend reading Geiger first, but like I said, Junkyard Joe and the 80-page giant did come out before that. So without further ado, let's break it down, let's get into it, and grab some snacks, kick back and relax, and have a great day, and I hope you guys enjoy.
So as you can see here on the left, it's going to say Geiger, and it's by the creators, Jeff Johns and Gary Frank, creators, Brad Anderson, the colorist, Rob Lay on letters, and then overall, Mad Ghost is the company, you know, from Image Comics. And then we're going to see the cover image for chapter 1, issue number 1. I love that cover. That is a slab I am definitely looking to grab this year. So it's going to open up right at the beginning with them with a Geiger counter just kind of measuring the levels. And he's like, yep, levels are spiked, meaning this is optimal breeding ground for all the nasties. Between the Nightcrawlers and the Organ people, we best take shifts. I'm not sure I can sleep. Too curious to tell the truth. Curious about what? So you're basically just started off right from the rip of two guys, you know, they're in their hazmat suits, they're with their equipment, their protective equipment, and you're not sure what's going on, but there's radiation. The Geiger meter is completely spiked. And he says, about the man, the one who walks outside without a suit. They say back in the day, you could spot him around here at night, all lit up. It's as true as the air is death. So basically that's our first notion that something happened. You know, basically, you know, by the book, it's some radioactivity, nukes went off, so without a suit, you're dead. After the Unknown War, and that's all in bold, and if you're a fan of the series or know anything about this, they speak about the Unknown War, and we learn more about it as this book goes along. People started seeing him flickering out there like a horizon on like a candle. Who was he? Oh, he was called a lot of things. Joe Glow, the man of mass destruction, the walking bomb, the Meltdown Man, but that came later. I'd like to hear his story if you know it. Well, okay, telling the tale will keep us awake at least. And here we get a crazy, nice, simple 2-page spread showing this huge crater left behind by something that we're going to assume, you know, is a nuke. And it simply says his name was Tariq Geiger, and everything he did, good and bad, was for family. And Geiger, like I mentioned before in the previous opening, Geiger was my first introduction to this universe, to Ghost Machine, to any of this. And just by that first page and how it's drawn and the gritty style for it, I was instantly in love with the art direction of this book. So you're going to see right here, I mentioned in the previous opening that Junkyard Joe did come before this book, but reading this book gave you a different vibe and different feel for Junkyard Joe and some of the other titles and the universe, reading this first and then going back and reading that book because of the context clues and things you're going to see like on this page. It says the president declared he would not fire unless fired upon. This is all coming from the news television. But this revolt is unprecedented, and revolt is in black, highlighted. Sad news from India now. Maury Muddy Davis, the Vietnam veteran and reclusive cartoonist who created the beloved Junkyard Joe strip, has died at the age of 77. So these are on context clues of what's going on in the entire kind of unknown universe. Scandal coming out of the Pentagon as declassified files on the 1997 Windows bombing reveal an explosive tie to an American hero. The unexplainable metal monolith found at the site of the skirmish at Island Mound began vibrating earlier today. So basically all these events are happening across the globe, and it's all the stuff that's starting this unknown war. After months of global violence, it is unknown who has started this war. And then you have it's July 4th. You have the calendar right there, and then it cuts to emergency broadcast. You see him, Tariq, for the first time, and it says, "Let's go now, Tracy." Now you see that he's in Boulder City, Nevada. He says, "Air filters, hydroponics, we can live down here for as long as we need to, okay? We're prepared. But your medicine, Tariq, I've got plenty. For now you do, but not forever. We can't stay down there. We've got no choice." So he's basically got a bunker. He's got an emergency shelter, but there's something wrong with him. You don't know if it's some medical condition or what it is, but obviously he has some kind of medicine for it, and that they can't stay down there forever. And his daughter says, "I'm scared, Daddy. I know, baby, but I'm never going to let anything hurt you." And then it cuts to his son. He says, "Dad, what's Molly barking at?" And as we turn the page, it's just simple, just a one-page spread of the dog barking, and you see a missile of some sort getting launched into the sky. And yeah, you know all hell's about to be breaking loose. So now they're down in the bunker. His wife's like, "What's happening, Tracy?" He says, "I'll be right back." And he sprints to go get Molly the dog. He's like, "Come on, Molly." And he hears, "Mom." She says, "Don't worry, he's got her." And as he's running back, he gets shot in the leg and drops. And you see her horrified face. She's like, "Tariq." And then it says, "Sorry, neighbor, but we're taking that shelter." Probably his people that started this. So apparently they're racist. I'm assuming this guy's of a different ethnicity because basically, like I said, they're coming up and just shooting him and saying, "Your people started this." And then he says, "Tracy, shut the door." I can't. Lock it and do not open it for anything. Do you understand? Do it now," as the dog's barking. She says, "I love you." He responds, "I love you too." And the kids are, "Dad, wait. Dad, don't leave us," as the door locks. Now it says they closed it as the dog's still barking. And she says, "And that dog won't shut up." And she shoots and unfortunately kills the dog. He says, "You get on your feet and tell him to open that door. You do it or you die." He's like, "Not happening. I'll do anything to protect my family." He says, "Okay." And then the very last little panel you see is this blinding light and explosion behind them as he's staring at them. And then this is where I kind of absolutely fell head over heels in love with this book and the series, and where I binged the entire book after this 2-page spread. You have on the left side, you have his reflection as he's sitting there and he sees the nuke going off in the distance, and it's not like a bright, like fiery explosion. I love that purple and pink hue. And then over on the right, you see the two people standing there getting absolutely evaporated, shut, go flying. Then it cuts to him, his hands and his arms are disintegrating, and then we're just left with that last blank page. And before I show you, that's where we're going to leave off, and when we start back up, it jumps 20 years in the future. Like I said in the beginning, time was a little crunch for me, so I wanted to just keep this as a nice little short and sweet preview little segment to get you guys nice and hyped and see where the story time with Derrz is going. I hope you appreciate this, because Ghost Machine is going to be doing big things this year, and series like this are going to help you guys follow along if you're not reading or unfamiliar with these characters. So I really appreciate you guys hanging out with me. It means the absolute world. Make sure you like, share, subscribe. Leave a comment down in the video. It does help the analytics, and it helps me know how these videos are helping you guys. So see you guys Friday at 10:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time for my weekly Friday Positivities and Shoutout. I love you guys to death. Stay legendary, and as always, I hope you guys find what you're looking for. Thank you.